Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And today we are going to be watching another internet historian video, although this is on a third channel of theirs called Storymode. And they basically explain the storylines to video games in the most roundabout, random way possible. At least that's what I've been told. So yeah, this is a request from another commenter. And yeah, we're gonna go through a couple of these. This one is Final Fantasy VII, 1997 Expleened. Let's just get into it.
Final Fantasy VII, the original one. The story is set on the planet of
I like how many
Gaia
times this thing's
in the
been
city
remade.
of Midgar. We play as Cloud, a mercenary hired by the eco-terrorist group AVALANCHE. But he only cares about the money, doesn't really care about the trees and shit. An evil energy.
Well, I mean, half the world only cares about, money in this, in reality. No one cares about trees until they're dying of, no oxygen or anything else. Then they care about the trees.
Manufacturing company called Shinra Inc. is harvesting the life energy of the planet, known as the Lifestream, and from it they are extracting Mako energy. Wait, what's Mako energy?
Basically gas.
Yeah.
It's green petrol. So the group's goal is to blow
It's monster energy.
up the North Reactor and stop the harvesting of the green fuel, G fuel, as
Of
they believe
course
that
there'd be a G
harvesting
fuel
it will
recommendation.
eventually destroy the planet. Barrett, the leader of Avalanche, is distrusting of Cloud, as he was once a part of Soldier. It's a military faction, and it's owned by Shinra.
Cloud reaches the
course.
reactor and sets the bomb to blow.
What's that joke in Futurama? We set the bomb to 15 minutes. No, 5 minutes.
15
no, wait,
seconds?
114 minutes?
They escape the facility just as the bomb blows, destroying one of 8 reactors.
Many innocent people are killed. Thank you, brave heroes.
Yeah.
They split up, and then they arranged to meet
I
up
was
in
like, how many people die from this? Obviously, quite a few people. They're all horrible people.
a particular spot. So Cloud goes a separate way, but then he's surrounded by Shinra soldiers. Oh, and he has to jump off a bridge and onto a train to escape. Very cool. The crew is on the train, and Cloud meets back up with them.
Here they explain how Midgar is split into 2 levels and 8 sectors, with the bottom level being the slum. They go
I like how Cloud always gets lost. He's always lost in this game.
back to their hideout, which is a bar. Here we meet Cloud's childhood friend Tifa, who is also a member of Avalanche.
Wait, is there a reason they call Avalanche?
At least it's more creative than Soldier.
It's true. Barrett
Yeah,
holds him.
that's
He-
true.
He questions Cloud on his motives. He said, why don't you care about anything but money? What's wrong with you? Don't you want to blow up stuff for the sake of it?
Explosions.
It's like the Borderlands concept. I bet you the team on Borderlands was like, yeah, we'll make all the characters care about money, but one character likes blowing stuff up.
Don't buy food, guys.
But Tifa begs Cloud, come on, you gotta join Avalanche. Cloud doesn't want to join, but Tifa convinces him through a flashback of when they were both younger. Remember how you were younger and I was also younger? Join Al-Qaeda, come on. Well, I guess you're right. And Cloud promises...
Is that how people get brainwashed in the internet? I mean, that makes sense, I guess, right? I think they said it takes only like somewhere in the area of 5 weeks to totally brainwash someone on the internet, especially if they keep getting stuck within a controlled algorithm set.
Tifa that he'll save her if anything bad ever happens. Anything bad. You're in a restaurant and the food just comes late.
Barrett then pays him, and Cloud agrees to go on the next mission for more cash money. They head
I'll
off
do
to
it for
destroy
$3
Reactor
grand.
5, once again catching the train.
But as they're traveling on the train, suddenly there's an alert. It says that there's unidentified passengers on the train and now there's a lockdown. So they have to jump off the train and make their way to Reactor 5 on foot.
They make it to the reactor, but when in front of it, Cloud has a flashback to Tifa's dad being killed by Sephiroth, the leader of Soldier, and she vows revenge on all of Shinra. They set the bomb,
I
and
can't remember. Did Cloud have like a bunch of like blocked memories? Is that how this game worked? It's been such a long time since I played it.
go to leave.
But they're caught in a trap. The president of Shinra then comes down personally to say, we've been expecting you, Avalanche. Then he releases an attack drone. Cloud defeats the drone, but then it self-destructs and destroys the bridge, causing
no, he's
Cloud
gonna
to
fall.
He grabs onto the edge with his square hand. But when the Avalanche bomb blows up, it sends
It was Minecraft before Minecraft was cool.
Cloud tumbling into the slums below. Cloud is awoken by Aerith, a flower girl.
As they chat, she reveals that she has a materia that seems to do absolutely nothing.
A man in black enters the church. Oh no, says Aerith. I need to hire you, Cloud, to take me home.
It'll cost you.
Oh, alright, what's the price?
One date.
She agrees, and Cloud and Aerith sneak out the back. Cloud then recognizes the
I like how
uniform
Cloud
as
can
that
jump up
of
a bunch
the
of stuff, but
Turks, Shinra's
you're like, how the
elite
hell is
military,
everyone jumping
and
up
he
like
asks her
entire
why
stories?
The Turks are after her.
I don't know.
Cloud drops Aerith home and then asks for directions back to the bar. Aerith says she'll show him the way, and they head off. Is this the date? But as they're taking a break on their journey, Cloud sees a carriage passing by with Tifa in it. The carriage leads them to the wall.
I love how games used to like just have movement in place. Well, okay, to be fair, this is 1997, right? So the fact that, you know, a game like this came out around this time, right as the internet was basically just barely getting its footing.
Wall market, an exceptionally seedy place, even for the slums. They find out that Tifa is at a local brothel where she is being interviewed as a potential wife for crime boss Don Corneo. Cloud tries to get into Don
I don't remember this game having a brothel. That's crazy.
Corneo's house, but he's only accepting women, which is not very progressive of him. So Aerith suggests that he dress up like a lady and sneak in, which he then does. He and Aerith go to the mansion. They find Tifa and talk to her. She says, actually,
At least
I'm
Cloud
not
has
here to
long
earn
enough
some
hair
cash.
to
I
do
heard
so."
that Don Corneo may have some insider info on Shinra.
The three ladies present themselves to the Don, who picks Cloud, obviously the hottest there, as his bride for the night. Just as the sexy times are about to happen, Ares and Tifa burst in to save.
Why don't I remember any of this? I mean, this is definitely different. Okay.
Cloud.
Wait, before? Wait till after. Is this that date?
Don reveals that Heidegger, the head of public safety for Shinra, had hired him to sniff out Avalanche. Shinra plans to drop the whole Sector 7 plate on them, destroying Avalanche and Sector 7.
But we're
This
Avalanche.
doesn't make any bloody sense. We're gonna take out four guys, bomb London, cut to Shinra headquarters.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they've blown up 2 reactors so far.
Heidegger is getting ready to drop the plate. Steady. But Reed is concerned about the overkill, and that it's a bit much to kill an entire sector for one eco-terrorist group, don't you fucking think? But the president of Shinra dismisses Reeve. He says, you will go on vacation now to Sector 7, and
I mean, there's a difference between ego terrorist groups that actually that just strap themselves to bridges and things with chains, and ones that actually blow up things. Once you've caused actual damage to a company or a country, they tend to go all out against you, and they don't care anymore.
reveals his plan to Heidegger. He plans to set another bomb on the reactor, blame Avalanche, and then look good by handling the rescue and relief operation. Actually, hold on a minute, this plan makes good sense. Reactor 7, listen.
That actually does make good sense.
An inside job. Mako can't melt steel plates.
Back to the gang. Cloud, Ares, and Tifa.
Was G Fuel an actual sponsor for this video, or are they just like G Fuel? I mean, okay, to be fair, G Fuel has actually some really good flavors compared to, I don't know, Prime energy drinks.
Rush to Sector 7, but see Avalanche fighting a losing battle.
They send Eris off to get Barrett's daughter, Marlene, to safety.
They
I got
are
the guys
too
just
late
on the
to
ground.
stop the Turks from arming the bomb. The leader of the Turks, Sung, comes up and explains the bomb cannot be disarmed.
And also, now I have the last of the ancients, as he grabs Eris in his grasp. He leaves as the pillar explodes. Barrett finds it.
I would have laughed in this game if that pillar exploded and just crashed into the helicopter and blew it up and everyone on died.
Cable and swings them out of the sector.
Completely
But a
changing the
cable
storyline.
length of the sector. That cable would have to be about 10 miles long. Back to Cloud and the gang as they look for Ares the Ancient. They go to Ares' home and her mum tells her that she is the sole survivor of the Ancient. Didn't you say that as the first
That home has a nicer living room than my house. I'm sad now.
thing? We get some backstory about Eris. She's adopted and her real parents are dead. But
Wow.
the Shinra also found her and tried to explain that as an ancient, she could lead them to the Promised Land. What's the Promised Land?
It's basically what everybody's trying to get to.
She's basically like the Jesus of that world. Or maybe the G Fuel of that world, I don't know. The G Fuel god.
In this game, it's filled with unlimited Mako.
Is the Promised Land on the planet or is it like in the heavens? Anyway, they're trying to stuff themselves in an oil well, it sounds like. But Eris always denies that she's an ancient. I ain't an ancient. You got the wrong guy. But Shinra says that's not good enough, and also you're coming with us. And she goes, I ain't going with you. And you go, oh, well, we'll kill some people. How about Marlene? You go, no, I will
Jeez.
sacrifice myself in order to save you, Marlene. And Barrett says thanks. Do you want to do the Barrett voice? I don't want to be cancelled. He's just Australian now. Oh, cheers, Aerith. I'll promise to save you, even if that means storming the
I don't want to be cancelled. I'm just going to make him Australian. Perfect. No one can cancel me now.
Shinra HQ directly. Oh, thanks. That's exactly what's needed. So they go and sneak into the Shinra HQ. The crew then goes up the vent to do some spying. They spy on the Shinra board meeting, and they're saying,
There's quite a lot of sheer destruction in Sector 7, but I don't really care because I'm the president and I'm choosing to follow the Neo Midgar plan instead, which is to follow Ares, who doesn't really like us, to the Promised Land. I think that's the go.
how explicit. Then a scientist, Hojo, comes in and says,
Aerith is not as good an ancient as her mother, and she never will be. I think we should breed her and try for better ancient, because this one's a bit shit.
the gang then
Okay, this game had a lot darker themes than I remember. Holy crap.
follows him back to the lab. Cloud then sees a sealed chamber labeled Genova.
I like how I
Looks
was able to
inside,
play this
and he
game when I was like
sees a
9.
mutilated corpse, and his head starts ringing. Oh my god.
Once he's away from the chamber, they confront Hojo. He remains calm and continues on with his experiments. He brings in a rare endangered animal and Ares, and he says,
We're gonna have to breed these two together to
That's a horrible idea. What? What? Man, this story is, I was allowed to play this as a kid.
save them both. Wait, is that the plan?
yeah.
Why does that save either species by making a half-dog baby? Appalled by the experiment, Barrett shoots at the
Blow it
cell,
up.
causing it to overload and forcing Hojo to open the chamber. This thing is red, and he leaps out and attacks Hojo. You know what they should have done for the remake? They should have always stopped the scene after it was too late. So they go to save Tifa from Corneo, but it's too late. It's after the sad scene. They have the awful encounter, and then afterwards he goes, "Ha! I was Cloud all along." And then Aerith and Red are getting it on, and then afterwards Cloud shows up and goes, "I'm here to save you." Just always just missing it by.
Okay, I really hope in the future games actually have like, so there are games that have like timetables like that where you can actually miss stuff. One of the main games that a lot of people like to play that had that feature was the original Dead Rising. Remember, you had that very specific 7-day window, and everyone always missed tons of stuff because of the time window. But that means you could replay the game quite a few different ways. So I really want games to have a lot more time windows where you can totally screw up the entire storyline and always only appear after everything happens. Like, you're like, oh, sorry, I was gambling for 26 hours. My bad.
Like the 20-minute window, everyone's lives are changed forever because they always just stopped off for lunch first.
The K9 senses a monster coming and warns the crew that they have to leave.
Oh, you can speak.
Woof.
It then joins the crew, calling itself Red 13. But as they try to escape, they're caught by the...
Yeah, you just merged a dog and a girl together. That's how is this game not banned in a lot of places?
Turks and taken to the president of Shinra's office. The president believes very strongly in the Promised Land, and he believes that Aerith will take him there, and he plans to construct a new empire there, Neo Midgar.
Couldn't come up with a better name.
Midgar 2. Then he
There we
finishes
go.
gloating and throws them in a cell next to Aerith. You guys plot amongst yourselves. I'll be back
He's already
later.
like the
He then
richest
asks
person on
Aerith
the planet,
about
and he's
Promised
like,
Land.
nope,
He
not
doesn't
good
really
enough.
know anything. I'm just an orphan. Why would I know anything? Anyway, the next morning, Cloud wakes up and the cell door is open, and the guards are slaughtered. They quickly realize that the Genova specimen has escaped, and following the trail of blood, they go to the president's office, who's now dead. He was killed by a unique blade belonging to Sephiroth.
Oh, I guess he's not going to Midgar. No Neo Midgar for that guy.
A legendary but missing first-class soldier. They see Palmer, the head of the Shinra space program.
Who's very quick to spill out that Sephiroth was here and he wouldn't let the president go to the Promised Land. No Promised Land for you.
The crew wonders if he's a good guy. No, says Cloud. Sephiroth is bad. Outside, Vice President Rufus, the president's son, pulls up in a helicopter to claim his new title.
Rufus wants to do things a bit different to his dad, but does still want the Promised Land with all that sweet, sweet Mako. Guys, can we produce Mako some other way other than sucking the life form out of our planet? Maybe some Mako windmills?
But Cloud
Yeah.
says no, no.
What about Mako solar generators? I assume Mako is only it's basically oil, right?
They fight, but Rufus escapes and the building is surrounded. Thinking quickly, they hop onto some display vehicles in the lobby and they jump onto the adjacent highway. Now it's time for a car chase scene.
Cloud is fending off the pursuers on his motorbike with his sword. Hi-yah!
I'm just an old lady and I'm crossing the road. And at the end of the road, the crew's confused about
They should have had the old lady get hit by them, like smash off into the distance. That would have been hilarious.
where to go next. As most of Avalanche is now destroyed. Oh, everything's lost.
Cloud says,
I've got unfinished business with Sephiroth.
and the crew,
We will go with you, they say.
I love how this all these streets are just empty. They build all these streets, all this infrastructure, and there's just like 5 people on them at any one point.
Said.
while resting at night, the crew asks Cloud.
What's the mission?
Cloud says,
Cloud used to idolize Sephiroth and was the reason he joined Soldier in the first place. They eventually became best friends and went on missions together. They had a great time. Roll the vlog.
hey guys, it's me and Sephiroth, we're out here today.
I just want to welcome you. I hope you're having a fantastic
Remember to
day.
smash that like button if you think we're hot.
But then they receive a mission to investigate an old Mako reactor that's also producing monsters. The mission was in Cloud's hometown of Nibelheim. I don't know how it's pronounced. I've only ever seen it written.
Yeah, Nibelheim. That sounds really bad. If you think about Nibelheim.
Down. What's at the town? Sephiroth makes small talk. Oh, I have no family or hometown other than my mother, Genova. Barrett points out that,
Mate, that was the name of the experiment in the Shinra building.
continuing the story, Cloud
Right.
looked for Tifa, but she wasn't home. So he decides to just steal her underwear to remember her by. He then looks around the town and he finds Tifa, and she leads these 3 to the Mako reactor. Once they reach it, Tifa and the infantrymen stay outside while Cloud and Sephiroth investigate. As they fix the problem, Sephiroth sees what Professor Hojo has been doing to try and reach the same level as Professor Gast. What does that mean?
Professor Gast is his predecessor, so he was
And
the one
smarter?
who originally created soldiers. Hojo is trying to reach that level by making an even stronger soldier.
Right, Cloud peers inside one of the reactors containing a
Someone has a little bit of an inferiority complex then, huh?
monster. Sephiroth explains that soldiers are humans that have been sprinkled with Mako. However, these soldiers have taken far too much Mako, and now they have turned into monsters. But then, Sephiroth has an epiphany. Oh, because of the Mako, I am far stronger, thanks to Mr. Hojo. But am I really different from any of these monsters? After this mission, Sephiroth secludes himself.
He's like, I need to kill these things, but I can't cut through with my garbage sword.
Rock layer. He named it Genova. Oh, me mom. And confirmed it to be an ancient. Sephiroth read for days. Days and days he read books until Cloud came in to check up on him. But by the time he got there, Sephiroth called him a traitor. What did I do? He explains that the planet was originally dominated by Cetra, who are ancients, okay, who would move around from place to place until they found the promised land.
G
However,
Fuel
some of
World.
the ancients got tired of the journey and settled down, leeching off the ancients' progress. These are the ancestors of us, humans.
Later on, a nondescript disaster struck, and the humans hid while the Cetra/ancients were sacrificed. Now the humans were the dominant species.
Finally.
I want to know how the sacrifice took place. Man, I gotta figure out the backstory to the backstory here.
About damn time. But then when the humans found Genova, they used her to produce more ancients. This is how Professor Gast
swear I thought Genova was,
created
part of-
Sephiroth. Oh my god.
I swear I thought Genova was a meteorite.
Sephiroth leaves to see his mum.
On his way out of Nibelheim, Sephiroth starts a fiery warpath, burning Cloud's hometown to the ground. Cloud's mother and Tifa's father were killed in the accident.
Tifa grabbed her father's sword and rushed at Sephiroth. Sephiroth wrestled with the sword from her and slashed her out.
How'd she just not die right there?
Cloud saves her and then chases after Sephiroth. Sephiroth discovers the
Oh, you'll be fine. You got sliced almost in half, but I'm gonna go chase after him. I promise I'll get him. I know you're probably dead.
real, unmutated face of Genova. He states, Oh, I'm so disgusted with all the humans. Me and me mum will save the planet from the humans and become heroes for the ancients. So then Cloud and Sephiroth are
Are all
about
the
to
ancients
throw
dead
down.
right now?
I'm gonna fight you, he says.
Except for
then
the
we
current
leave.
ones, I guess.
Flashback. Cloud claims that all I can remember is that I'm pretty sure I didn't kill Sephiroth back then. Tifa, despite being there, is confused by Cloud's story. They all continue on anyway. They leave Midgar and ride Chocobo across the dangerous desert. Then they run into the Turks again. They're following Sephiroth to Junon Harbor. Along the way, they find a new team member, Yuffie, the ninja. Oh, Suki does ne. They arrive in the rundown town of Junon.
They save a dolphin.
And then they go to sleep. But as Cloud tries to sleep, his inner monologue points out all the holes in his story that he told earlier. So he asks Tifa for the deets, but she says,
Oh, I can't remember.
but then she does tell him,
There's a parade for the new Shinra president, Rufus, and we should crash it.
so Cloud jumps on the dolphin that they saved earlier and rides it all the way to the upper levels of the Junon Harbor. There he finds a large airship, and he sneaks onto the ship and finds a military uniform to blend in. He walks in their parade and
All right. Video games have some of the weirdest stories on the freaking planet. And when you're playing them, you're usually just like sitting there like, yeah, this seems like a legitimate idea. Yeah, I could see this happening. Yeah. And then you're stuck in like a 45-minute cutscene like in Star Ocean until the end of time.
gets right next to Rufus. And Cloud hears Rufus talking about Sephiroth crossing the ocean. And Professor Hojo has resigned. The crew stow away on Rufus's boat. But while sailing, something comes on board and starts killing all the crew members. Cloud doesn't think it's Sephiroth, but he's wrong because Sephiroth starts floating up from the floor.
But the floor is made of solid metal. What the hell happened? Is he a ghost now?
Sephiroth doesn't even recognize Cloud, and he rushes past the crew saying that, oh, the time is right. Anyway, the ship carries on. Cue 3 seconds of sailing. And the ship docks at the Costa del Sol.
Here they find Professor Hojo, and he's surrounded by young ladies. He asks Cloud,
I like how half this planet is just like completely wrecked, but there's just this random like couple of places on the planet that have nice beaches everywhere. People are just relaxing, chilling.
I feel like because you're an ancient and stuff, now that Sephiroth's back, that you're like being pulled. Not like being pulled, but like you're being pulled. And Cloud says, I'm just going wherever Sephiroth is. Ares then asks,
Is Genova and Sephiroth ancients like I?
and this makes Hojo nervous, and he says, you better go west.
They come across
Mumble,
North
mumble,
Coral,
mumble, go
a
west.
mining town destroyed by Shinra.
From here, they catch a train to the Golden Saucer, a fun-filled casino and minigame park. There, they come across a fortune-telling robot named Kate Sith. Catchy. I'm gonna go with Kate Sith.
Yeah,
Kate
that seems
Sith
legit.
Then
Kate
tells
Sith.
Cloud, ooh, I'm looking into me mystical balls. You will find what you want, but you will lose something close to you. Then Kate Sith joins the crew. Then they run to the owner of the Golden Saucer, Dio, and Dio says,
You remind me of somebody that was just here before.
oh my god, there must be Sephiroth. However, as they leave, they come across a mass murder done by a man with a gun strapped to his arm, and Dio thinks that it was them, and he detains them. Oh, you did it. I know you did it. Then they are
Your security doesn't have guns? What the hell?
put in a desert prison. Barrett tells them,
Mate, I've only met one other person, other than me, that has a gun on his arm, and his name was Dine.
in order to win their freedom, they must win a chocobo race. Why didn't Shinra just put them in a sand desert?
Yeah,
By winning
right?
a chocobo race. It wouldn't have been very effective.
Or launch them into space, or throw them into a reactor. That would have been perfect.
Why can you win your freedom in a chocobo? Alright. Of course, Cloud wins the chocobo race, and the gang is freed. Yay! Once out, Dio sends them a letter, and it says, Dear fellas, it was
I'm
Dine.
sorry I said you did a mass murder in my casino. It wasn't actually you. It was a lad named Dine with a gun strapped to his arm.
He also gives them a lead on Sephiroth and an off-road buggy. Along the way, they bump into the Turks again, who seem
I like how it could only be one possible person on the entire planet that has a gun strapped to their arm. Oh, how many people are on this planet? Like 300 people?
ready for him. The group wonders if there's a spy, but Cloud trusts everyone. They then move into Cosmo Canyon, where their buggy breaks down. But it turns out that Red 13, whose real name is Nanaki, is actually from here and can get them to the town. Red introduces them to Bugenhagen. Bugenhagen can hear the screams of the planet. And he claims that the extraction of Mako is killing it. In town, they get their buggy fixed. They head to Nibel,
Stop stealing energy drinks from the planet, guys.
which is Cloud and Tifa's hometown. However, when they get there, they're shocked to find that it's completely normal and not burnt down. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Cloud just can't be trusted with his memories. This is what's going on here.
All of the residents seem to have disappeared, and the town is now filled with strange cloaked people. temple. They continue into the Shinra mansion and find Sephiroth in the basement lab. He
Just
asks
staring
Cloud
there.
if he will join the reunion with Genova, whilst also confirming that she's not really an ancient.
He invites Cloud to meet with him in the north and flies away. They continue to follow Sephiroth.
Okay, so then I'm pretty sure then she's still that meteorite that comes down, right?
Trail. They come across Rocket Town, named after the team. They spot a small plane and they aim to steal it. But they're informed by a lady named Shira that the captain is in his rocket ship, and they're expecting President Rufus soon to check on things. So they go to the captain, and his name is Sid, and he refuses to give them the plane. He tells the story of Shinra, and that they developed weapons
Yeah, it's his plane. Those things are expensive. Why would you just give it to some random schmuck?
and space travel before going into electricity and never looking back. That saddens Sid. He hopes one day that he'll be able to take a rocket to the moon. Then things are interrupted because Rufus arrives and he wants Sid's plane to take him across the ocean after Sephiroth.
I think that's why Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. He just wants to get the hell away from everyone on this planet.
Sid's fed up with them taking everything.
Mainly his kids. The kids he keeps having with random people. He has to be as far away as possible so he never ever has to pay child support. To be fair, I don't know if he pays child support. He probably does. He probably pays more than the majority of people in the world, but who knows?
He's taking my planes and my rocket ships. I want to go to the moon. But while he's complaining, Palmer makes a dash for the plane. The crew stops him, however, and they steal the plane for themselves instead. Is a plane like the most valuable commodity in this entire world?
Sephiroth has also gone across the ocean.
I think a boat would be one of the more the boat, helicopter, or I guess plane. Here's the thing, though. They just stole it. So I don't know if they're good guys
And
here.
one of them could, sail.
I've seen helicopters and boats and flying people, and now they're scrambling for this, biplane? As they take off, Sid jumps in the back and joins the crew. But as they fly away, they're shot out of the sky and they land in the ocean. But the plane could still be used as a boat, so they continue on. They could have used a boat the whole fucking time. New scene! Once back on land,
I'm surprised Sid even joined. If I was Sid, I would just push Cloud into the fucking ocean and be like, "You are dead to me."
Yuffie leads the group to an ambush where she reveals, "Haha, I am a spy. Haha, watashi wa supai desu." And Yuffie steals the materia. Then they go to Wutai and take it back. Then she comes along and joins the crew again. "Oh, sorry, I was a spy. Oku no gomain nasai." Continuing on, they hear that Dio of the Golden Plate has a keystone and that it will open the Temple of the Ancients. So they go to some arena thing.
Of course, the casino guy has a bunch of hidden stuff in his casino. He's like, "I'm rich. I can buy all the weird shit in the world."
And they put on a good show and then they win it from him. They retire for the night. There's 10 people in the crew and they go, "Oi, what's this mission exactly?" Quick recap. We're hunting Sephiroth. At night, Cloud goes out to walk around and sees some of the theater and the fireworks. But on his way back, he spots Kate Sith with the keystone that they just earned. "What the fuck? Are you a spy too?" He chases Kat Sith down, but it's too late and he tosses the keystone to the Turks. Holy shit, he was a spy. Kate Sith says, "I can see in the very near past you
There's so many spies in this world.
have been betrayed by a spy, and it was me." And actually, surprise, fellas, there's a remote control toy run by somebody in the Shinra headquarters. And then he pulls a Yuffie and says,
Can I stay on the crew and act like nothing happened? Beep-boop.
Yeah.
Cloud doesn't really know what to do. But Kate Sith reveals,
We have Marlene hostage, so you're actually forced to look the other way.
but as consolation, he says,
I will lead you to the Temple of the Ancients, although you will arrive after my boss, Shinra.
So, they go to the temple. The Turks are in there, and they tell the crew that Sephiroth is not actually trying to find the Promised Land. So they go into the cave, and further
But if Kate was, controlled by someone in Shinra's department, why the hell would they lead them there? Just blow it up, have him self-destruct, and kill Cloud, and be done with this.
Aerith can feel the spirits talking to her from a literal pool of consciousness. She talks to the pool of water that goes into a mind palace, and she sees everything that's happened. In the flashback thing, the Turks are looking at murals when Sephiroth shows up. Sephiroth informs the Turks that he's trying to become one with the planet via the wisdom held within this temple and absorb the very power of the Lifestream itself.
It's always one random villain who has way too much power, and they've just gone off the deep end, and they're like, well, the world is boring to me now. Might as well completely destroy it or do something completely random and weird. Just because. Why? because I have nothing better to do.
Then he kills the Turk as an invitation to return to the live stream. Over 300 concurrent viewers on the live stream. Please hit the sub button. Why doesn't IH live stream anymore? Then we leave the flashback scene and the crew finds the murals themselves. And Sephiroth is there.
Did Internet Historian actually do live streams? That's fantastic.
He explains that whenever the planet is hurt, the amount of spirit energy changes depending on the size of the injury. But Sephiroth's plan is to threaten the very life of the planet itself and be at the center of that injury. When that happens, the planet's spirit energy will merge with him and he will become godlike. But how are you going to do that, Sephiroth? Well, you see, this temple allows me to summon a destructive magic meteor, causing the injury that Sephiroth...
Why the heck would they build this temple in the first place? They're building this temple. Yeah, we want to make this temple here have the ability to blow up a whole section of our own planet and cause it great damage. Because that seems like a legit reason for things.
Once. Dun 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 dun.
I guess maybe to destroy a city.
Then Sephiroth flies away. Suddenly, Cloud is possessed. He says, "Oh, I know the way." And then he snaps out of it 2 seconds later.
They then find a puzzle within the temple and realize for every puzzle they solve, the temple gets smaller. They want to shrink the temple to pocket size so it can be transported, which means leaving a crew member inside to solve the puzzles, but crushing them in the process.
But Cloud rationalizes that someone has to do it. Otherwise, Sephiroth will bring his minions who will do it for him. So Katsith volunteers. I'm just a remote-controlled robot anyway.
Cloud and the gang, reluctant...
They should just pick any random other person aside from the robot. That doesn't matter, right?
We agree. Outside, they see the temple shrink to a carry size. They also realize that none of them have the spiritual power to actually use the temple, but Sephiroth shouldn't either, as he technically...
No one can use the temple, so we just crushed their frenemy for no reason. That's great, guys.
Isn't an ancient.
I guess.
Then Sephiroth appears and says, well, actually, I'm better than an ancient because I'm a traveler of the life stream and I've gained the wisdom of the ancients, which is actually way better. You don't know. The ancients are so mainstream. As a demonstration of his control, Sephiroth possesses Cloud and he forces him to hand over the temple. Sephiroth then leaves and Cloud's like, oh, I fucking suck. Ares tries to comfort him. It's alright, stupid. But Cloud instead pushes her down and says, fuck off the bench.
Wait, what the hell is Cloud doing?
He starts wailing on her. Then Tifa says no.
Okay, that doesn't look exactly like that. That looks a lot worse.
And she knocks Cloud out, she does. Then Katsith's body replacement rocks up. While Cloud is knocked out, he has a dream where he apologizes to Aerith. Aerith isn't mad, and she tells Cloud she'll deal with Sephiroth as she is the last of the ancients. He then says goodbye, but then he hears Sephiroth's voice in a dream telling him to stop Aerith.
Cloud wakes up and they pursue Aerith to the city of the ancients. They make it and they see Aerith praying. Cloud insists on approaching her alone despite being the only one in the crew that has wailed on her.
Yeah, I was like, why would you let the one person who's basically assaulted another person approach alone? That's stupid as shit.
Cloud is suddenly possessed again, and he goes to chop Aerith's head off. But just before he does, his friends scream,
Cloud, please, no.
Why don't you quit that? He says. And Sephiroth's very mad about that, so he comes down and he finishes the job, and Aerith dies.
I can't I never got this far in the game, I guess, but the way he was coming down, it totally looked like he was just going to go straight through the top of her skull.
As she dies, her inner materia falls into the live stream.
Cloud is angry, which amuses Sephiroth. He sets a monster on them, which they...
He's like, I can't beat her up anymore. What's wrong with you? That's so bad. This game was so bad in a lot of different ways.
Defeat. Afterwards, Sephiroth tells Cloud, hey bro, you're just a puppet, eh?
Then they lay Aerith to rest. It's very sad. Anyway, the group continues onto the snowy fields where they find an old research lab with the records of Professor Gast. They see a video of Aerith's birth mother talking to Dr. Gast.
In the video, Gast explains, the Cetra came here after they heard a cry for help. Something fell from the sky, causing a giant crater.
Okay.
Once this happened,
that's the
planet
meteor then,
pulled
right?
spirit energy to help heal itself, but it told the Cetra to go away because it's a strong, independent planet and it don't need no Cetra. Before they could go though, a shapeshifter, which they called Crisis from the Sky, or as we better know it, Genova, appeared as friends and family and infected the Cetra. It made them go insane and turned them into monsters.
Oh, that's the worst.
In a separate conversation, they also
So monsters weren't on this planet until this point?
talk about Weapon, which are giant living weapons designed to destroy the crisis from the sky, created by the Cetra. They've never been used, though, as by the time they were complete, the Cetra had already contained the crisis from the sky, currently laying dormant on the planet, waiting for shit to fuck up.
It's also revealed that Ghast
There was another kind of show like this, where there was a bunch of like hidden like mechs on the world. Actually, I think it was an anime. It was like in another world with your smartphone or something stupid like that.
is Aerith's father. Then Hojo came in to do some experiments on the family, and he killed Ghast.
Out of the flashback, Cloud and the gang snowboard to the crater.
At the same time, Rufus and Hojo are arriving on an airship.
Was snowboarding actually in this game?
Sephiroth is also here, but Sephiroth thinks it's about time to upgrade bodies. Also, anything with Genova cells on it will obey him. The crew then fights Sephiroth as he turns into a Genova creature.
They regain the black materia, also known as our pocket-sized temple. Then they realize that they haven't really been chasing Sephiroth, but a shape-shifting Genova.
Of course.
That's lame. Now, Cloud doesn't really trust
But where the hell is Sephiroth? Just on some other part of the planet?
himself with the black materia. He's easily possessed, you see. Suggestible type. He hands it off to one of the crew members. Then as they get closer, they enter an illusion of Nibelheim, which Cloud is pretty sure is fake.
As it plays through, though, it becomes clear that this isn't fake, and it's actually a flashback of the burning of Nibelheim. Cloud still refuses to believe any of it, though. Not only are you easily possessed, you're also fucking stubborn.
Then Sephiroth appears, and he tells Cloud it's actually an illusion in his memory, and this is what really happened. After this event, Cloud was taken by Hojo, and he was rebuilt with Genova cells,
Right.
but he was deemed a failure by Hojo. He's Vegeta to the Goku.
Yeah, basically, the reason he's a failure, though, is his memory's all messed up. He doesn't understand what's going on. He's super gullible. He believes everyone. He's a really bad soldier in general.
Tifa is scared. Because Cloud has Genova cells, he can shapeshift and be implanted with fake memories. Cloud is a random stranger with a persona crafted from Tifa's memories. And Sephiroth proves that this is true by showing a photo taken at Nibelheim. The photo taken on that fateful day shows Sephiroth, Tifa, and a man with black hair instead of Cloud.
Who the fuck is that?
Cloud denies this,
I want to know who that is, yeah.
stating, "No, my memory's from Soldier. I remember being there and boot camp, and the food was terrible." But as he tries to recall more details, he comes short. Surely he would remember something else, but he can't.
Meanwhile, Rufus and Hojo are getting ready to watch the awakening of the weapon. Then, the whole crew is just transported to the same spot as Rufus and Hojo. Cloud is then possessed.
He takes the black materia from the crew, and then he says, "Oh, fuck, I don't know, sorry again. I hope that you find the real Cloud." And then he's collected by Sephiroth. "Jump in the car, Cloud. We're gonna go save the
Wow, this is a perfect screenshot.
world." Hojo then explains that Cloud is a failed Sephiroth clone after the real Sephiroth died 5 years ago.
Hojo then states his theory was correct of Genova pieces rejoining and becoming one again. Cloud realizes
Oh, yeah. It doesn't look like he's joining. He just like got stuck up there.
that he hasn't been chasing Sephiroth, but rather being called by him.
Do you feel like cool? Remember that fucking accent? Yeah. At this time, the real Sephiroth comes out of the pod thing. He's always just showing up. Cloud gives the Black Materia Temple to Sephiroth, and everything is collapsing. Oh my god, we gotta get out of here.
Rufus gets everyone out just in time, and then the weapon awakens and shoots off into the far corners of the world. Tifa is knocked out and relives some real Cloud memories, because that's what happens when I get knocked out. I relive other people's memories.
Perfect. Yep. Well, I mean, and that does make sense in her case because all of Cloud's memories are her memories, right?
He wakes up 7 days later. Shinra's captured her and Barrett. Sephiroth is still in the crater, protected by a barrier of life, and the weapons are running amok.
Sephiroth has also summoned the Meteor, which is on its way to destroy the planet. Rufus comes in to collect the
I thought Sephiroth didn't want to destroy the planet, just wanted to put a giant freaking hole in it. If you destroy the planet, doesn't that ruin the whole concept here?
for their execution, but right as this happens, the weapon attacks Shinra. Amidst the attack, the crew steal the Highwind, which is a glorified blimp, and escape. And then once again, because Cloud is missing, they're confused about what to do next.
Man, this world's totally fucked up no matter who's in charge.
So they go and they find Cloud, but his brain ain't working because he's had too much Mako. Tifa stays behind to help Cloud while the rest of the crew moves on with the mission. Boy, Cloud sucks. He just gives away all the materia all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell?
Makes up stories about how great he is. Kate Sith then says, by the way, Shinra plans to attack the Meteor head-on with a large ball of materia. The group is still trying to stop Shinra, and they want to use the materia to fight Sephiroth rather than blowing up the Meteor. So then they go to different locations, and they get some materia, but not all the materia they need, and then they go and they check on Cloud and Tifa, and they seem fine. Then, when they're
Cloud does not seem fine in any way.
walking around the town, not only is the Lifestream threatening to erupt underneath the ground, but one of the weapons actually attacks the town itself. The crew then fends off the weapon, but the Lifestream still tears out the ground.
Tifa and Cloud are about to escape, but the ground gives way beneath them and they fall into the Lifestream. Tifa is now inside Cloud's subconscious.
I like how as Cloud was falling, he's just like, I just don't care anymore. I don't care. Just end everything. And he just like falls in. And at least Tifa was like trying to run.
But he's trying to pull himself together. Fuck is happening. I'm going into your subconscious. What?
Inside are his true, unfiltered
So like
memories.
Psychonauts over and over
He did join
again.
Soldier. He did it to become strong and to impress Tifa because she got the big titties. But in Nibelheim, it wasn't Cloud who visited with Sephiroth. Cloud remembers that it was actually a young soldier named Zack in Nibelheim that day. Cloud himself was actually there that day, and he was a lonely Shinra infantryman.
He hid his face from Tifa as he told everyone he would join Soldier and couldn't face the embarrassment of being in Soldier but not quite the high rank.
Still,
Yeah, I don't
he
know what
really did
the
come
whole
to
point of that
Tifa's
was.
rescue as promised. And when Zack fought Sephiroth and stuff, Cloud fought him, throwing him into the Lifestream, presumably killing him. Then he recuperates from his mental breakdown. Haha.
The crew is there when
He
he
can
wakes up,
stand
and
again.
Cloud sets the record straight on his delusion. His strength comes from Hojo's experiment, and his first-class soldier persona is based on Zack. We then get another flashback to Nibelheim, with Shinra rebuilt to mask the Sephiroth incident and turned the remaining townfolk into Sephiroth clone experiments.
He recalls that after this, Zack and Cloud were taken by Hojo to be like on par with Sephiroth.
I swear this storyline is like the prerequisite to like 20 other animes all off the bat. I see a lot of stuff from like Shield Hero in here and a bunch of other random animes.
Zack wasn't a fan of this though, and he said, you know what, fuck this, I'm breaking Cloud and I out. But Cloud has Mako poisoning and is mentally broken because apparently he spent half the game like this.
Oh, he's just the worst. I need my medicine. Shut up, Cloud.
Zack then changes him into his spare first-class uniform and tries to keep him safe on the journey back to Midgard.
Boy, this Zack guy is really the hero. I like Zack. He would have saved Aerith too. Fun fact.
Yeah, he probably would have saved Aerith.
Did you know that Cloud and Titus from Final Fantasy X are actually the same character?
I didn't.
Oh
It's
god,
in a different world, isn't it?
that makes sense.
Zack has planned to become a mercenary after this incident. I'm so disillusioned
I know it's
by
probably
this
not
whole
true,
thing.
but
I'm
that
gonna
would totally
do
make
killing
sense.
for pay.
That
But
guy
then
Titus
he
was
was
such an
chased
idiot.
down by the Shinra army
Holy crap.
and killed.
They spared Cloud.
Did you see how many bullets they pumped into him?
Cloud then crawls over Zack and takes his sword and his identity.
Foul swoop, 1-2. Out of the flashback, they head to Junon.
Then they destroy an underwater sub with materia. Then they follow a transport plane back to Rocket Town. But oh no, what's this? Shinra is there, and they're getting ready to launch the rocket. It's got the materia bomb on it. It's already loaded. Here we go.
Right,
When
they gotta
Sid
blow up
sees
the
that it's
meteor,
his
right?
crew, he stops them. Oi! No takeoff without me. I've been waiting for this for years.
So he jumps on the rocket and he flies into outer space to hit the meteor.
Once in space, they realize that Palmer has actually locked them on to hit the meteor and they can't override it.
Uh-oh, we're gonna 9/11 the meteor. Yup.
Then they go, okay, shit, let's steal the materia and get into an escape pod, head on back down to Earth, and because they've taken all
I'm surprised they even had an escape pod in this
the
thing.
materia, the rocket now just does nothing.
So almost no damage is done to the meteor at all.
Wait, they They didn't leave the materia on the rocket to blow it up. They just waste time.
And
Okay.
with the materia in
Stupid.
hand, they hear the planet scream, as Bugenhagen had said it would. And they decide to consult him. Hey, Bugenhagen, tell me some stuff.
They give Bugenhagen the huge materia for safekeeping, and they also take him to the City of Ancients to explain
I like how
what
he's just
Aerith was
floating.
trying to do when she was killed.
They
Oh.
learn of the ancient
He's on like a floating ball. Okay, never mind then.
magic, the white holy magic. And
Totally,
that
I
is
didn't
the
see this
only
movie.
thing that they
Or-
can hope to stop them.
I didn't see the end of this game. I probably got so distracted. I mean, well, I was 9. Who knows what I did?
Meteor. Fucking Deus Ex Machina magic. Also, if a soul-seeking holy reaches the planet, it will wipe out the meteor. Convenient. But also everything else, including humans.
That's
Only
probably
way to
for the
avoid
best.
this is to pray to the planet. Like, oh, please. And do so through the white materia,
Yeah.
which will go green if accepted. Aerith has the white materia, which she dropped when she died.
You know, it's interesting from this. They're like, you know what? There should be something written in that if you make a bunch of random, bad choices, it never ever turns green. It just stays white, and then the planet just blows up and
And
ends.
it had turned green. So she had succeeded at the last minute in sparing the humans.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. If she dropped it when she died, what's going on? Well, that would be because Sephiroth is holding the Holy in with his magical powers.
Then
What?
they receive word that Shinra is going to use a big cannon by moving it to Midgar and powering it with Mako.
At the
Sure.
same time as they're moving the cannon, another weapon rises from the ocean and begins towards Midgar. The crew fights the weapon, trying to slow it down.
And Shinra is getting ready to fire the Mako, and they use all the Mako in the city to do it. And as the cannon fires, so too does the weapon. The crew witnesses the attacks cross each other, and the weapon is pierced by the cannon, pushing it back, destroying Sephiroth's barrier. However, the weapon keeps attacking, and it hits the Shinra HQ and kills Rufus, not Rufus.
The barrier is now open.
I mean, seriously, if you're going to be doing attacks like this, do it from a remote location away from there. You prep it so it's set up so it looks like you're there, but you're not actually there.
And Hojo is hijacking the cannon, planning to give Sephiroth all the Mako he wants.
Then Katseth goes, by the way, my name is Reeve, and I work at Shinra. Now, Reeve believes that the cannon will level Midgar, but he can't stop the cannon because Scarlet and Heidgar are preventing him because they think that the president is dead and they have taken control of the company. Reeve then urges the crew to save Midgar, you gotta do it. And now they're going to stop Hojo. So they're in a blimp and then they parachute in and they fight the Turks for the last time and they
I'm honestly surprised Cloud can even use a parachute correctly without just dying.
destroy Scarlet and Heidgar who are in a robot together. Ooh.
Sure.
And then they confront Hojo. And then Hojo says,
I'm actually Sephiroth's father.
what?
To
It's like
participate
that
in Garth's
scene
Genova
from
project?
Star Wars.
It's exactly
Remember?
like Star
when
Wars.
Darth Vader's like, oh, Obi-Wan, you're my dad? And Genova cells were implanted in my wife's
Sure.
womb.
I mean, what's the saying? Only like 21 stories on the entire planet are actually truly original. Every single other story is built off of these 21. It's
How did
probably
he do
12
that?
actually.
Did he
but
just
I
get
think
one
it's
part
21.
spooge, one part Genova cells, and then a turkey base?
I like he's like spooge vanilla yogurt with Genova and a turkey
Sure,
base.
is that the... How else is it done? You tell me. Anyway, then he injects himself with the Genova cells. It's the new vaccine,
Ooh.
fellas. And he fights the crew. The crew then kill him to stop the cannon from overloading. Then they get back on the blimp.
Back on the blimp, they all have a little reflective moment on why they're here.
Then they go to sleep for the night. And Tifa and Cloud do it.
Grab the Geneva cells and the turkey baster and let's do this.
There's Genova cells everywhere. I did an old...
The worst part about this is, Cloud's not even like a real person. I'm not even sure we can consider Cloud an actual clone or not a. I don't know. Yeah, you're implanted with. I guess they could be. Like maybe they're related. in the worst way possible.
Ultrasound. It's gonna be a Genova. The next morning they wake up. It's time to go face off with Sephiroth.
They fight monsters along the way, and then they face the complete form of Genova, which they kill, and the alien menace is destroyed forever.
Forever and ever?
Ever and ever.
Forever
After they
and
defeat
a
Geneva,
little while.
the ground caves in and they fall towards the Holy.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Sephiroth is there, holding it back.
I'll hold it back.
He
Yeah.
He begins evolving
Still, I'm holding it.
and becoming bigger and
Holding it back.
stronger.
He's enormous strength.
But the crew still defeat him. Now they just
You've
have to
defeated me.
Now they just have to wait for the Holy to do its thing. But as they go to leave, Sephiroth, being a sore loser,
I surprised you.
reaches out from the live stream and has a mental duel with Cloud. And
Boy, this is a
frees-
really long video. We're both getting pretty tired.
Cloud defeats Sephiroth and frees the mental shackles that Sephiroth had over him.
I'm gonna break these chains.
Maybe his memory comes back.
He snaps back to the reality, and he and Tifa escape the
Whoa, there
collapsing
goes
cavern.
gravity.
The high wind falls in with them. They climb aboard, the Holy erupts out, pushing the high wind
it's
and
everywhere.
the crew out.
It's all over me. It's sticky.
Then
Okay, their whole airship thing should have been just melted. It should have just been completely destroyed, and that's where it should have ended.
they fly away. The meteor is just about to fall.
Oh, it's
when
the worst.
Aerith Holy comes in and blocks that meteor.
Appreciate that, Aerith.
But that Holy's not strong enough and it breaks
Perfect.
Aerith, what's the point?
through. Then the planet saves itself by
Yep.
taking the live stream and
The
blowing up
whole
the
thing
meteor.
was in vain.
Could have just let the planet sort itself out.
You could have just watched TV the whole time.
Yeah, it was like, did they have to really do anything? Because it looks like the planet is like, yeah, we'll just do it because you guys suck.
We cut to 500 years later, and we see Red 13 prowling across a healthy-looking land.
It's pretty
Yep.
nice.
Healthy-ish. One leg equals one implanted memory. All right, that storyline was ridiculous. And this is from someone who played the game, but seriously didn't remember like any of it. There's some really bad thoughts on how Cloud works in that entire series. So, well, I'm gonna have to kind of dig into the history. If there's any other videos you guys want me to watch, go ahead and put it down in the comments section. All right, see you guys later.